Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory, greatest striking coach on the planet. No one has ever taught striking better than me, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later. But first, we're going to be talking a little bit about how Joey Spencer is going to be getting ruined here. Okay, now Joey Spencer is a very, very, very athletic and um, powerful, explosive. I don't want to say powerful, but explosive for sure. And when we take a look at some of his highlights here, he's really, flying around. He's got a really athletic and explosive style. However, he had a really, really, really big loss in his second to most recent fight, and I think that something kind of bad happened to him. Something that I don't know if he fired somebody or this, but he's just not doing the same kind of training that's going to allow him to do this kind of very explosive stuff that he's doing. And we're going to take a look at some of his training as well. But I just want to kind of show you guys just what an animal this guy is. This guy's a beast. Well, I guess I can just show you on the training, But here he is on the bag, the aqua bag. You guys know how difficult these are to hit. And look at, he's carrying this much weight, knocking it around that much, so he's hitting it hard. Very, very explosive shots, but this guy is an animal. And, we fight how we train. Now, this is some of the most recent heavy bag video of his training for Tszyu. And, I watched his most recent fight, and none of it looks like he used to fight. None of it is that crazy, wild, explosive. And when I first heard that Tszyu was fighting Joey Spencer, I immediately thought, oh, he's going to get beat again. I thought I thought Keith Thurman was going to beat him. I knew Fundora was going to beat him. I picked Murtazaliev to beat him, and I would have picked Joey Spencer to beat him as well. But Joey Spencer, it's looking like after he took that ass whooping, he's really not training like that crazy wild animal he was back when he was doing those really explosive things. I don't know that he's going to be having this kind of hand speed. I literally couldn't find it in his most recent fight against Miguel Hernandez, or in any of the training. So but we're also going to take a look at a little bit of Tszyu stuff because, he still needs to worry about Tszyu. Okay, so warming up with some stretching. Very important to stretch, you guys. If you're a fighter, make sure to stretch. Jumping rope, make sure to jump rope. It's very important. If you don't know shit about how to get strong and how to get in shape and you don't know anything, if you don't know anything, this is the best thing that you can be doing with your time. It's the best. Okay? If you're like, oh, I don't want to risk it. I don't want to this. I don't want to get your jump rope out. Get good at jumping rope. Get going. Okay? It'll help you tremendously. Okay? It's one of the easiest hacks, to get good with your body mechanics. Notice there's a down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, a down, up motion, just like we teach Fouts Boxing Theory to use with our punches. Okay, when we drill, we use a down up motion, right, so that we can get our 2-foot punches, right, our feet planted, so that we can strike with our entire kinetic chain. Okay, and again, I'm the first coach in history to be able to solve this and figure all this stuff out. Okay, and real quick, we're going to take a little interjection. Here's a little fraud guy. This guy, something Jansen, Hamish Jansen, Warrior Codex or some shit, starting to teach some 2-foot punching here, right? Here's a slip counter version, right, where you go down with the punch, going up with the punch. And his whole video literally never gives any credit for 2-foot punching or teaching my drill here. What a scumbag, but trying to teach this stuff, right? By the way, look at his little 13,000 thing. Okay, I'm 5'6", okay, guys? I went there when I was fat as hell. You guys all make fun of me about how fat I was. I was hitting 55K on this thing with a tiny glove. Okay? 55K. I taught a boxing student boxing and striking for 1 week. Okay? Skinny dude, weighed 140 pounds. He was hitting 26K. I hit an 18K jab. Okay? 2 inches away. 1-inch punch style. Okay? 18K on this thing with a jab. This guy's barely breaking. This guy doesn't know shit about punching power. He's not a real fucking punching theorist, a striker. And then we got him here embarrassing himself, right? Saying that he's coming up with this new technique for punching, right? Here he goes. Taking a step into the punch, which is like literally the first thing that I ever taught on YouTube. Oh, well, all these guys are doing all their striking standing still. Whoa. If you just take a step, you'll generate momentum and you'll do a pendulum right hand as you get your weight into it, right? Trying to teach, oh, you'll get more power into it, right? Trying to teach Fouts boxing theory. What a scumbag. Look at how bad his technique is. Look at how his head doesn't move. He doesn't know what to do with any parts of his kinetic chain. No credit as well, right? Just stealing and teaching my shit on his channel like he came up with it. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about why that matters in a second because I wanted to point out that, again, that guy's not a striker. He don't know shit about fighting. He don't know shit about striking. He doesn't know shit about combining the two, right? He's trying to tell you guys to train your striking in that way where you're taking a step into the punch, right? Why would you train it that way? Why wouldn't you train it a harder way so you can get better at both? But anyway, that guy doesn't know shit about fighting because he doesn't move his head, right? He doesn't move his head when he throws his punches, right? Now, Tszyu, I know people love Tszyu, man. He got a cult following. Tszyu was my coach's favorite fighter. I had seen so much goddamn Tszyu, and I thought what that guy did was goddamn magic. He just annihilate guys, crumble guys. And you know who he beat? He beat my favorite fighter. Okay, my favorite fighter, he beat Zab Judah. And Zab Judah was an incredible fighter, one of my favorite fighters. And one of the things that happened with him when he lost, they changed his style. He stopped being as explosive. He stopped with the head movement, the goofing around. But that goofing around was one of the things that he used to cross his opponent's line so he could set up the big power shots. There's literally a scene in the first fight, or in the first round with Tszyu, where he gets Judah in the corner, and Judah's all the way on the back foot. And Tszyu comes in to try to throw a punch. He crosses all the way across the line and hits him with an uppercut, boom, and hurts him. Zab Judah was this close to beating Tszyu. Nobody remembers that. He hurt him twice. But nobody remembers that just because he lost, and he got up too early. Right? He did, man. We know he got up too early. That fight shouldn't have been stopped, and we never got a rematch. Crazy. Wild. But that's what I think is going to happen with a little bit with Joey Spencer. I think that something went wrong in the camp. They overcorrected, and I don't think that guy's going to be the animal that he needs to be to take advantage of the defensive flaws that Tszyu has. Now, Tszyu is a striker. He's not a good fighter or a boxer. Okay? Like his guard, we take a look at his hands. His hands are nowhere near his face, right? They're over his mouth here. He's covering his chin. Is every punch in boxing going to your chin? No? I mean, look at these massive holes here. Is he in a position to block? He has to react to everything with giant movements. In a division where he should be fighting at 140 like his dad, and he's fighting at 54, Murtazaliev can stand almost anywhere and throw a punch and find an open target against Tszyu that Tszyu literally has no ability to predict, right? I mean, we're not watching the Murtazaliev fight, but the point is there are so many holes in his guard, but Joey Spencer's, I don't think he's going to be able to take advantage of that stuff. I don't think he's going to be able to take advantage of it as well because I don't think he's going to be as dynamic, and that might play right into Tszyu's overall best strength, right? Because if Joey Spencer's not moving his head very much and he's not crossing the line, I won't say goofing off and being explosive, but if he's not moving around and dipping and ducking and dodging and diving, if he's not doing that stuff, then Tszyu's going to find his head. This guy's got hands, right? He's not the hardest puncher, but he's super fast, and often he's very sharp with his hands, even though his defense is always really bad. Now, I want to point out, we take a look at the last minute or so of this shadow boxing as we go back, right? 10 seconds, right? He's just sitting straight. This is one of the problems with shadow boxing and watching yourself in the mirror. Notice there's especially no head movement when he's watching himself in the mirror, right? It's especially, right? There's a lack of stepping around and circling his opponent right now. This is not how we fight any opponent, is it? Is this how we fight anybody? Just standing here right in front of them? No. Do we throw all our punches without moving our head? No, because any rock'em sock'em robot is going to smash you, right? Again, all of 90s and early 2000s boxing was not like rock'em sock'em robots, right? That's why what climbed to the top of rock'em sock'em robots? Artur Beterbiev, the strongest robot, right? We all know that guy can't fight for shit. We know it. We see it. We're not blind. But anyway, again, the lack of head movement is going to be a huge problem. And we can see how if Tszyu was fighting this guy, this would be a very tough fight for Tszyu, a guy who has no guard, right? That guy is explosive. That guy is fast. But this, right? It's going to be much more manageable for Tszyu if he's fighting, basically in a straight line. He's fighting, and I saw several clips of his training, several clips. His whole other fight looked like this. Not very explosive. Not a lot of movement. Very pedestrian, He's strong, but where's those crazy hooks at, right? Where's those shots coming around the guard? And again, I did watch quite a bit of stuff. But again, a lot of holes in the shadow boxing. Let's take a look at some of the noodle work. And this is really interesting because this is his defense, right? Now, if your opponent is throwing body shots here, you see that it's a body shot, sure. But what if your opponent fakes a body shot and they come with a right hand to the head, right? Are we blocking multiple body shots? Now, I don't want to say but blocking body shots is very, very dangerous, right? And we already saw that there's massive holes there. Ooh, is this a good defense for a right hand? Murtazaliev caught him every time with the right hand. Joey Spencer's hands used to be fast enough that if he tried to move like this, and, even in these clips here of Joey Spencer, there's clips of him landing right hands from people doing that technique. I'll guarantee right away. People are not going to be able to just pull away from the kind of hand speed, right? But again, he's not this guy, right? We don't see this guy training, right? Just such a crazy, distinct difference between these guys, right? But you see that little right hand right there? Man, that's exactly the kind of shot that would get Tszyu with this bad defense, right? Philly shell defense. Now, is he blocking that left hook right there? Right here? Boom. Boom. Here? Is that a block? I'm pretty sure that in the first round, we see Murtazaliev land a left hook right around a guard that looks exactly like this, right? This is a bad block, okay? As we continue to see that if Tszyu was fighting a guy that was fast, right, and could compete with him striking, because again, I don't think Tszyu is the hardest puncher. He's not a one-punch guy, but he's also not a guy that's going to hit you like 6 times in a row, right? He's very methodical, right? Very I don't know. Too cautious sometimes. Obviously, he didn't get to be too cautious against Murtazaliev because that guy was picking him apart, right? And he got stopped because he didn't move his head after he threw the left hook, right? Or he was throwing the left hook to the body. He still caught Murtazaliev a bunch of times good. But again, bad defense. I don't know what this guy's teaching him here. Why he's using pool noodles. Hey, dummy. Why don't you just put a fucking glove on, you dumbass? Like, honestly. But this is not defense here, right? And again, hand speed like Spencer has, crazy difficult to deal with if he's trying to fight out of a Philly shell against a taller opponent. Now, is he blocking this if it's a right hand around the guard? I mean, we see the pool needle hitting him in the neck, right? I mean, yeah, it's important. We can see that he's like seeing this stuff coming, but honestly, this is like, it's bad work. It's bad work. Okay, at least he's starting to add stuff to it, catch and counter stuff. I mean, if you ever stay there for your opponent to throw a punch at you, you better fucking counter him. If you don't counter him, you're just sitting there for his next punch. You're just going to let a guy throw a combination at you? A guy who's scared to death? A guy who's just so desperate to win like you? And you're just going to let him throw punches at you? This is terrible. This is not how you fight a guy, right? After you block, you got to get off the line or you got to counter, right? You can't just stay there. This move is pretty tricky here. Where'd it go? Nope. Nope. Here. Following the right hand back with the hook here, right? You get out of the line, and there's like a slight kind of come forward where you're going to catch him leaving the position. This is one of the problems where if you throw a right hand, you can't leave the position, right? You can't leave this position and cross the line because the hook is coming, right? Fouts boxing theory, first coach in history to teach that theory, right? Again, what does everyone say? Oh, you throw your right hand, now you got to get back into your stance, right? Wrong. You're dead. Tszyu going to kill you right here. Crossing the line like that. No, he's short. He's probably not going to get you. He's short as hell. No, he's got a good one. Trying to go at the same time. Bad. And, you know, we fight how we train, right? You're not going to hurt him with the pool noodle. Why don't you just fucking whip that shit at him? Throw it fast, old man. Come on. Be quick. Like, honestly, like, you're trying to prepare this guy for somebody to throw his goddamn fastest hands at him. Throw the pool noodle. It's not going to hurt him. All right. Oh. So, real quick, this is the stupidest move in boxing. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I just want to point out here. Here's Joey Spencer coming in, uppercut on the line, first punch, and he gets hit with an overhand right. If you both throw your best punch and you start yours with an uppercut, your opponent throws his straight or an overhand, right? Which is more common, which is usually a better punch, you know? There's a video, you know, my student doing the same thing. He goes in with an uppercut and gets caught right away. I hate it. But it's okay. We talked to him about it. It's okay. We're going to figure it out. And then sometimes maybe you want the bait, right? Head movement, though. Lack of head movement. Good little combination. Is this how we're sitting in front of somebody, though? Number one, what did I just say? Boom, boom. He's going to throw a left hook and then go back to this side of the dangerous side of the line. Why would you go over here without throwing a punch? Why didn't you throw a right hand when you went here? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you even thinking? How is that real combat? Would you ever do that in front of somebody, you psycho? What's wrong with you? Stepping jab, pivot on the front foot, bad move. Number one, you can't pivot on the front foot in front of somebody, but you're going to do it right after a stepping jab? Stupid. I mean, doesn't this guy have somebody to watch him? Somebody to teach him how to fight? Come on now. All these rookie mistakes here. You guys remember when he did this to Murtazaliev in the third round and then got knocked out? It's like almost exactly what he does, right? He just walks up and tries to throw a left hook to the body and then gets killed. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Anyway, I really don't think that beautiful hand speed. But I really don't think that the new version of Joey Spencer is going to be able to deal with the striking from Tszyu. I think that whoever is working this guy, whoever is like in his ear telling him to do stuff, Joey Spencer, I think it's bad. He's just not that animal right now, you know, and it's being that animal. It's I don't want to say goofing off like Zab Judah, right? But it's like the courage to cross the line, move around, test angles, right? Drunken master shit, right? And then you smack your opponent while you do it, right? They're stupid enough to let you cross their line. But anyway, yeah, honestly, like, I don't want to say worthless stuff, right? But a lot of bad stuff. Is he slipping every time? So he steps into his right hand. He's not planted here. His heel is off the ground. He's on the ball of the front foot as well. Super bad punch. Really, really, really bad. Boom, 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 boom. Leaning into this, like with his hip like this, right? Lifting his heel when he throws his left hook to the body. Very, very bad as well. Before I started teaching on YouTube, Canelo used to have a lot of really, really bad knee problems because he did this with his punches. And then I started teaching striking. And Canelo's channel has been following my channel for years and years, for sure. 100%. I guarantee it. And he stopped having knee problems because he started punching the way I did, that I taught. He stopped breaking his hands because he stopped slapping people with his thumbs. He started landing with the correct knuckles, right? And stopped breaking his hands. You can see. You could go look. Okay. But this walking around here on the ball of his foot here, the ball on the front foot here, very, very, very bad for him. Especially if the fight goes really long. I don't know what kind of fighter Joey Spencer is at the end of a fight. Again, if he's fighting like he did in the Miguel Hernandez fight, like, you know, Tim Tszyu might knock him out, right? If he doesn't move his head and gets hit, but if Tim Tszyu's walking around jumping on the balls of his feet, there might be a time where Joey Spencer gets, he gets fed up and just does do the animal thing and goes ape shit and beats Tim Tszyu up if he gets tired, because Tim Tszyu not like a heavy, a very like volume puncher, right? He's not throwing a lot of punches. He's usually got decent control of the line. He's throwing a couple fast and hard shots, right? But he's not like putting crazy pressure on you where he's like constantly punching and constantly, so there may be some space there for a Joey Spencer to get comfortable in front of Tim Tszyu, I don't think Tim Tszyu's that great, right? Now, when we think about what Spencer's going to be doing, if he's doing a lot of stepping jabs and he's doing a lot of bullshit, Tim Tszyu's kind of good at landing the right hand over the top of the jab. I think he is kind of good at that. At some points, and he might get a knockout. He might just be able to beat Spencer because of that, But anyway, I think my final prediction is that Joey Spencer is ruined. Whoever's in his camp is screwing him up, because that guy was a beast. That guy was a beast. He was capable of some incredible striking, and I just don't see it anymore. I don't see him being able to bridge the gap between him and Tszyu, because I do think Tszyu is a pretty good striker. I think he's pretty good. If he was really good, he would have stopped Murtazaliev when he caught him. He would have stopped Fundora when he caught him, right? If he was a really good striker, or he would have been able to continue catching them, right? Again, all very important ideas, and Tim Tszyu's like, he's a late bloomer, right? He got into boxing real late. It's not his fault. He hasn't been doing it forever. This is his amateur record as well, right? Now, I know he fought probably in the amateurs as well, but he doesn't have all that much experience. And yeah, it sucks that he had to cash out before he could lose to Crawford and have that be a really, really, really big fight. Because that would have been a really good fight for them, because they're around the same size. And Tim Tszyu's he's a dog. Obviously Crawford would kill him. We know that. I would have predicted that as well. But that would have been the best thing for him, because he could have taken that ass whooping, gone back to the drawing board, and learned some actual useful shit, because the person who beat him was the same size as him, rather than just saying, oh, it's just, he's so big, whatever it is that he's thinking in his head, fighting these giant guys. It's like, yeah, dude, you don't move your head against the small guys. You especially have to move your head against the big guys, because they can hit it from farther away. So, anyway, I'm not going to be surprised at all if Tim Tszyu loses. Not at all, okay? But I'm predicting him to probably be able to win. I think that Joey Spencer's just, he's not going to be fighting like that original amateur animal, right? That guy that's just like going out there. No one has told him that this is the professionals. You got to fight like a professional. You got to be bladed. You got to keep your head on the right side of the line. Keep your hands up at all times. And you got to be on your toes. And you got to fast and snappy jab. And then now you're on your toes, fast and snappy jab. You're the first 3 rounds of every Muhammad Ali fight, right? And now 3 rounds have gone by and you're exhausted. And, you didn't let your opponent do anything, because you ran and you threw punches the whole time. So he's not tired at all. Now you're just going to get beat up, right? And that's, I don't think that Joey Spencer can win that fight against against Tszyu. Um, there is a chance though that you can keep Tszyu far enough out of the fight by doing that stuff, and boxing him and leashing him and doing it the proper way. But I would pick Tszyu to beat that version of Joey Spencer, and the version of Joey Spencer that comes in and just starts, you know, chopping away, just throwing punches, even though he doesn't move his head either, right? That version of Joey Spencer I would pick to beat Tszyu. I don't I don't see a world where Tszyu boom 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 is eating a combination like that. Pop 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 and winning the fight. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I was taking a little bit of a vacation. I'm going to be getting back to more of my film study on Patreon. If you like this film study, we're going to be doing film studies of all the post-fight stuff this weekend. There's a bunch of fights. We're going to be watching, obviously, this fight. We're going to be watching the Ennis and Stanionis fight on Patreon. We're going to be watching a bunch of fights. It's going to be a good stuff. And if you guys want coaching, if you want someone to look at your training the way that I'm looking at these idiots here and telling you what they're doing wrong, I can tell you what you're doing wrong. I can tell you how to do it better. And I can turn you into the greatest striker ever. I can teach you to do what this guy's doing, to be that fast, to be that snappy, to be that explosive. Okay. I've taught a few guys already. I've had a guy, last month I had a guy staying in my studio apartment. We trained every day. Okay. We did hours of mitts, hours of film study, hours of my personal routines for whatever it is that I do. I'm not telling you what I do, because it's the best ever. Okay, I got the best routines of everything. I can get anybody strong. I can get anybody fit. I can teach anybody to strike. Anybody, man, woman, anybody. Okay, no genetics, no bullshit. I'm the guy that cracked the code, not this stupid little dipshit. Where'd that little turd go? This fucking turd here. This little scumbag trying to teach my shit here. Fuck you. Yeah, you want to meet in person? I'll knock your goddamn block off. And anybody in the comment section that has a fucking problem with that shit, you want to fucking meet? Okay? You want to meet? I'll get in the ring with you. I'll spar with you. It's not a big deal. That's what we do. Right? Anyway. Uh yeah. See you guys.